Hello, friends. Today, I want to present you a story about the future. I hope you like it. In a world not too distant from our own, the countdown for every human life begins with the turn of a key and the start of a clock. When each child is born, a glowing timepiece is fused into their flesh, somewhere unobtrusive, somewhere hidden from view. This clock, a small but intricate masterpiece of gears, metals, and pulsing energy, contains their lifespan. Yet the twist lies in the allocation of time. Not every clock is equal. Life is no longer a guarantee, it's a prize. Each newborn's clock is set by a multi-level raffle that no one can influence. This raffle, a mechanized lottery controlled by algorithms so advanced they were considered sentient, doles out lifetimes based on probabilities. The world's leaders had meticulously engineered. With humanity's numbers spiraling out of control, longer lifespans had become a rarity, and the shortest tickets were all too common. The first level of the raffle, called the common draw, awarded most newborns an average of 50 years. The officials rationalized that this limit would keep the world manageable, a safety valve for the planet's dwindling resources. People grew to accept that death at 50 was normal, barely questioning the ticking meters embedded in their bodies that drained slowly, minute by minute, toward that inevitable end. People wore their clocks under their clothes, only revealing them to loved ones or during government inspections. Society had come to revolve around these clocks, with workers organizing their days around the precise hours, minutes, and seconds left on their lives. The second level of the raffle awarded lifespans that went up to 100 years, an exceptional gift that many considered a blessing. Those who were given such clocks were viewed almost as wise elders, rare and revered. They became teachers, advisors, and custodians of history, living lives that spanned more than twice as long as the majority. But the third level, the rarest and most envied prize, was immortality, the immortal draw. Only 1 in a billion received it, and those who did were forever hunted by government agencies, ambitious corporations, and black market syndicates, all coveting the secret of eternal life. Immortality was more than a chance. It was a treasure beyond wealth, a commodity valued above all else. And those who received it were more cursed than blessed. In a small, quiet city lived a girl named Aliana. Her birth was ordinary, her family modest, and her life seemed destined to be the same. But when her parents saw the clock embedded in her tiny back, their eyes widened with horror and astonishment. It displayed not numbers, not an end date, but a strange, glowing infinity symbol. The girl, Aliana, was immortal. Knowing the terrible danger this would bring, her parents made the difficult decision to hide her. They covered her clock with layers of skin grafts, fabricated a counterfeit timepiece that ticked down to 50 years, and moved frequently, leaving behind no trace. Her parents knew that if the government, or anyone else, learned of her secret, Aliana would be taken, experimented on, dissected for the secrets within her body. They whispered to her every night, "You must hide, my love. You must stay invisible to the world." As she grew, Aliana was taught to be cautious, to live in the shadows. She learned to move in silence, to mask her identity, and to always keep her clock hidden. Her parents created fake identities for her, helping her to navigate a world increasingly hostile and dangerous. Aliana read everything she could about her condition, delving into ancient myths, scientific journals, and the rare fragments of information about immortals who had existed before her. She learned that many immortals had lived and died in secrecy, hunted by those who craved their gift. By the time she was an adult, Aliana was no longer a girl but a woman, wise beyond her years. Her parents had passed, their clocks having wound down to zero. She had buried them herself, tears falling as she watched the clocked corpses of her own blood succumb to the design of this world. Alone now, she had to constantly evade those who might uncover her secret. But whispers began to circulate of a woman with no clock limit, a woman with the secret of eternity flowing in her veins. It was a rumor at first, a ghost story among thieves and mercenaries. The story spread through the underworld, growing in legend and detail. Eventually, It reached the ears of powerful people, government officials, CEOs of tech giants, and leaders of underground syndicates. They dispatched hunters, scientists, and teams of mercenaries, each determined to find her. As Aliana moved from city to city, her encounters grew more dangerous. She became a phantom, mastering disguise, blending into crowds, always staying one step ahead. She used fake clocks, worn externally like bracelets or necklaces, to throw off anyone who might suspect her true nature. She moved between continents, never staying in one place for too long. But every escape, every narrow avoidance, came with a price. She became a target for those who wanted her immortality for themselves. Some wished to dissect her, to pull apart her cells and discover the secret. Others wished to harness her DNA, to create a world where the wealthy could buy endless life. Aliana knew that if anyone caught her, they would not grant her a dignified death, but would instead exploit her, treating her body as a resource, a code to be cracked, something to be replicated. Years turned into decades, and she watched the world change. She saw wars erupt and new technologies reshape society, all while she stayed hidden in the shadows. But with every decade, the hunt grew fiercer. The rare stories of other immortals had all ended in violence, the captured individuals dying in captivity or vanishing without a trace. She was the last known immortal, the sole carrier of this gift, or curse, that humanity had been conditioned to crave. Finally, Aliana grew tired of running. She began to wonder if there could be a different path, a way to turn her gift into a beacon of hope rather than a prize to be seized. She started to appear in places where immortality was discussed, cloaked and anonymous, slipping papers to scientists on ethical practices, releasing medical research that hinted at alternative ways to lengthen life. She worked in secret, her knowledge spanning generations. But she was still hunted. Her every move was tracked by agents, spies, and mercenaries who drew closer by the day. Aliana knew the clock she didn't have was ticking in a different way. If she were caught, it wouldn't mean her death. It would mean an endless existence trapped in a cage, forced to yield her secrets to powers that would use them for control, greed, and tyranny. One night, in a hidden enclave deep in the mountains, she gathered a few trusted allies who knew her secret and pledged to keep her hidden. Together, they created a sanctuary, a place isolated from the surveillance and reach of governments. Here, Aliana could live quietly, her immortality no longer a weapon or a curse. She spent centuries there, watching the rise and fall of empires, and occasionally sending out messages of hope, science, and quiet rebellion. Legends grew around the world of a hidden immortal, a woman who existed beyond time and who watched over humanity like a quiet guardian. She became a symbol of resilience, a reminder of a secret hope that lay somewhere, hidden in the mountains or perhaps within humanity itself. Though hunted, though always pursued, Aliana became an enduring myth. And as centuries passed, humankind learned, very slowly, to cherish the time they had instead of yearning for more. In the end, her immortality became a lesson in the value of mortality itself. And Aliana, the timeless, was finally free.